they import sperm there. Designer children in Brazil. Over 50% of the Brazilian. Okay, I'm not into the numbers bullshit because they're lying. Most of the time they're just lying. Just they exaggerate a lot of things and stuff like that. To a certain degree, they have a little bit of here and there, but majority, I don't believe everything that they say because they're devils, and it's just a big portion of the people that here. I'm gonna give you an example of a fact. The people that are going to sperm banks, that is the percentage that you could be like, okay, yeah, okay, he got that one. But the percentage of the people, this guy doesn't even freaking know how many people are in America registered. He doesn't know because people just come fluck, and you don't know. So off of that, don't believe him. But when it comes to his organizations where he has like these companies that accept females that come to take a seat in their room and stuff like that. Okay, you got that one. You got the weak papers and stuff like that. Okay, cool. Even that I don't trust you 100% because you're a liar by nature. But I have seen it for myself, so I do know that they do go and take semen from the caucus and then put it in their womb just to make them little white ass babies and shit like that. They do that. I know that they do that. So that's the truth. And so yeah. So with that, I believe him with that. I've seen it with my own eyes. So anyway, so let me finish this off, man. Because basically, what's happening here is the new DNA results suggest the Phoenicians were a mixture of Mediterranean population, mainly from Sicily, Greece, and the islands of this thing, and North Africa. Okay, you cannot be that. You cannot be of different seeds. Either you are a Canaanite or you are not a Canaanite. That's the point. Same thing with being a Jacob descendants. Either you are from Jacob or you are not from Jacob. That's it. That's just it. So here they're coming up with that snake tongue thing by making you think like, oh, see, not all the Phoenicians were Phoenicians. No, that's like, if you put the real word there, and then you would say, not all Canaanites are Canaanites. Does that even make any sense? But no. What you had is, in the midst of Canaan, you had only Canaanites because that's the only thing that exists. Even if they, let me see, even if you have 100 people, right? But you only have three Canaanites, right? Which is the 3%, right? Those are still Canaanites forever and perpetually, as long as they have a man that brings forth seed with their women or other people women. Yeah, those seed are still going to be Canaanites. Because I just read it to you in the book of Zechariah 14 in the last verse, where it says that there are still Canaanites in our midst because our daughters have lain. We have given the hands of our, back in the days, you give your daughter's hand to another man. We gave the hand of our daughters unto them, their sons and their men and stuff like that of their race. So this just doesn't make any sense, and the devil doesn't explain that to you. He just says this, but I know through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, I know that there were other people in the midst of Canaan that took on their customs. For example, you have so-called black men in the American army. Okay, so if these men were to go to, for example, Vietnam, and then you had the American-Vietnam War. Okay, cool, cat. So now, let's say them Jacob descendant men stayed there. So, does that therefore mean, oh, the Americans stayed behind? Oh, does that therefore mean that it is the bloodline of white people in that land that stayed behind just because they're Americans? And they took on the American mannerisms and they just act like them. They do like them. They walk like them, talk like them. They just do things according to that country, the Edomites. Does that then therefore make them Edomites? No. Well, the same thing with the Canaanites that the Edomites call Phoenicians. Just because you had different people in their army and in their midst, does not make those people Canaanites, or what you call is Phoenician. That's why they put the word Phoenician, because now you don't know what it is. They can just say Phoenicians. Well, to a certain degree, they're kind of right, because Paul was a Roman citizen. Is he a Roman though? He's not a Roman. So these people are Phoenicians, but that's also not correct, because the word Phoenician goes back to Canaan. They're not Canaanites. They live in the midst of Canaan. They join forces with their army. They join forces with their daughters and stuff like that, or with their men for their daughters and stuff like that. Through ancestry from the Levant is almost completely missing in these, though ancestry from the Levant is almost completely missing in these later Phoenicians. Why? Because you took their daughters. That's why. The bloodline of the man is perpetual. It doesn't go to the left. It doesn't go to the right. It finds many hoops that it can go through. It can go through a hole of a Chinese chick. It can go through a hoop of a Arabian chick. It can go through the hoop of a whatever chick upon the planet Earth, whatever race. Yeah? But it's still going through a hoop as long as it is a man. And if the man just stops, if let's say a Canaanite, right? He goes into the land of, damn, I don't know, man. China. He goes into the land of China, right? Okay, cool. Okay, he goes there, and then he has a wife, a Chinese wife, and really in a rural area, and then in a village of only 4,000 people. Meanwhile, in another village, there are like 20,000 people or something like that. And another one is like 400,000 and stuff like that. Okay, he goes to the least one. He can go to the big ones too, but I'm just giving an example. He goes to a village with only 4,000 people. Okay. Now he has a Chinese wife, and he only makes like 17. He has like 15 Chinese wives, right? He makes like 77 daughters. All of them are daughters. Just an example. I know that's, you know what I'm saying? It's not really likely, but it's possible. Just for example's sake, he has like 70 daughters. Make it 77, okay? He has all these daughters, and then he dies. With all these, he has like what? Maybe what 10 wives or something like that, and he makes 10 daughters with every individual, and 7 more and stuff like that, whatever, 11 or whatever, something like that. All those children are Canaanites, yes, 100% Canaanites, coming through the hole, coming through the womb of a Chinese woman. Okay, that's the end of that guy's individual family. And him as an individual, he might have brothers or a brother that went to Japan, and then he got a Japanese woman, and then he had maybe one son. Well, that's the bloodline. Compared to his other brother that was in China with 77 children. Yeah, your bloodline stopped right there. So what will happen to all your 77 daughters? They will all get a Chinese man. And then all of them, you will be able to, when they get kids with all the, let's say all the 77 daughters of that Canaanite man with the Chinese woman, women, women actually, all those 77 children, daughters, will all get 77 men, all of them, right? That's it. The bloodline stops right there. But all those children that will be born onto those 77 Canaanite daughters, they will all have, those children, they will all have Chinese male semen in their womb, and that child is then 100% a Chinese child, a Chinese man's bloodline child. So when you now go test their DNA, you will see, oh, you got a little bit of Canaan up in there. Yeah, because of the father. But now that child is a Chinese child, a Moabite child, because she laid down with a Moabite man. That's basically what they're saying to you here. But they're not saying it like that because they're liars. And second, through the power of Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, we will understand what's happening over there. And then further tell the truth to the other Jacob descendants that might come across this article. So whenever small groups of Canaanite settlers fanned out to found colonies across the Mediterranean, locals eagerly joined them and adopted their language, religion, and culture. This is the same thing that they do with the Jacob descendants. They went to Vietnam, they went to Germany, they went to here, they went to there. And what did the people do? They flocked onto them because they wanted to have babies with them. You come around them, they offer you their daughters. Gad did that. When the Edomites went over there to America, raped, robbed, and murdered them, Gadites were making peace treaties with these Edomites and then giving their daughters as the daughter of the chief. Here, you can, let's be family to make a peace treaty. Because if you watch these medieval movies, Jacob descendants were doing this actually in these so-called medieval movies. What do you often see? You often see that there's two empires ready to fight with one another. So what happens then, therefore, when they want to actually be at peace with one another? They would give the hand of their daughter to one of their princes, so that these two I don't know if this movie is like that. I have not seen this movie, so I'm just using something as an example. I'm just using this picture as an example. They will then therefore use her as a bargaining chip with this guy, and for example, she is then the daughter of this guy. Let's just use him, right? That's his daughter. Okay, and then his father is maybe this guy. Okay, just this guy. Okay, but this guy and this guy, they kind of want to fight with each other, and their kingdom is also, kind of, hey, you know what I'm saying? If you make a stupid move, I'm gonna attack. And he says the same thing back. But then he starts thinking like, man, I can't afford to actually do this. Even if it's not afford, even if it's more like he started to, wisen up, like, man, this war is not actually going to do us any better. Why don't we join kingdom and then we fight against these motherfuckers over here? Because they both of our enemies. We just enemies because, money's sake. But, they're enemies because, they want to take our land and stuff like that. Let's us join forces by marrying each other's into each other's family and stuff like that. Well, those are the things that happened. The Jacob descendants did that. And here you have these people doing the same thing too. So, from Carthage to Candace, this word here, estimate that settlements founded by Canaanite settlers grew tenfold or more within their first 200 years. Why? Because they're very productive. The Canaanites were very great. 7 nations greater and mighty in the Tao. And it was not just 7 nations, it was more. If you read that throughout the book of Joshua and stuff like that, you will see that there are more than 7 of them. But the 7 ones that were named were predominant. But those were Canaanites. You had the Philistines right there too. Those are Mizraim. And they were great too. They were so great that we couldn't beat them normally. And they had giants amongst them. But Og and Amor, they were also giants. So it was not just the Philistines that was giants. There was giants all around them. All different Canaanite groups and different Mizraim groups, which are Philistines. Those had both giants. And in the land of Mizraim itself, there were giants there too. So, but yeah, the Canaanites were bigger. But yeah, so they just mingled and, stole stuff. But yeah, they were greater and stuff like that. So the Edomites mingled with them and then stole their stuff. Just like how they mingle into the rock and roll. And then they come and then they steal. They steal. And then now they call themselves rock and rollers. Country music and all that type of stuff. Same thing they did here. They stole the Canaanites, their heritage and their name. And then changed their names and all that type of stuff. Anyway, so the first 200 years and they were very prosperous. And Jacob is very prosperous because we are the ones that are making them billions of dollars because of our talents. Then they take it, then sometimes they fine tune it They make something better or something like that, but you got it from Jake. Or they just take it, copy, paste, and then say that they're the greatest and they invented it. Same thing here, okay? So it said Carthage is perhaps the best known Canaanite city and Rome's most renowned rival, grew to a city of more than 40,000 from a hamlet that started with a few hundred people. These cities would look very attractive to people on the ground. Pilkington says, whatever this guy, the rate of growth is so substantial that you have to have the local population involved, and that's what the DNA is showing. And why? Because the Canaanites laid with these people of these lands over there, most likely Edomites, united by shared Canaanite culture. That's what they do. They are, for example, have you seen this movie? I think it's Stepping Up. Yeah, okay, this one. But you have the other one. Damn, I forgot the other one with, Jacob descendants. But the point is this. These people are doing as if they did this shit. Like they was doing these type of things and making, what the fuck? I grew up like, no, it was only this. But they put you in the middle. And then all the other black characters are side pieces. And then you have this little yellow-haired female and this caucus boy. What? That's not the truth. But to the movie, it is. You have another one, not to Step It Up. I forgot the movie name. I forgot the movie. Movies like it. Step It Up movies. Or similar, actually. I saw that word. Oh, I forgot the name then. There's another one with Jacob descendants and stuff like that, but I think it's Mario or something. Set it up. Yeah, I think this one. No, you know what? I don't know. But yeah, I don't know anyway. But yeah, it's movies like this that they then therefore stole, but through the power of television or movies or screens, then they could make it seem as if they're the ones that was actually there. They've been doing this throughout history, and that's why Obadiah chapter 1 and 18 is written for our pleasure, so that we know like this shit is not going to happen. So you can have your little hoorah right now. Once that time comes, you bye-bye. So yeah, that's a comfort to me. I can't stand that shit. But I am comforted because I know like, oh, you're going to pay for this. So united by their shared stolen, I should say, Canaanite culture and mastery of seafaring, which is First Kings explains to you that First Kings chapter 5, 6, 7 explains to you like and 9. These people are the real seafaring people of the scriptures. They are it. So definitely this is talking about the Canaanites. The population of different Canaanite city-states soon began to mix. Now this is what they're twisting. This is what they're twisting, right? In every Canaanite cemetery, the researchers looked at, none of the men shared similar Y chromosomes, suggesting men didn't stay in one place for multiple generations. Neither did you, devil, because you went to America. You went to Australia, you went to South Africa. So the people in that region over there, if we now go dig up their dead ass bodies, we're going to find you in those cemeteries. Where you're not going to really find Canaanites, but you're going to find Canaanites sprinkled left and right and stuff like that. But if we go to one certain place, you might find only Edomites, because only they are the ones that, according to them, are allowed in those regions, in the best regions upon the planet Earth. That's Genesis 27. He has the best regions upon the planet Earth. In the best regions in South Africa, yeah, he is laying there. You see. You think them people and them Hamites in South Africa could actually afford these type of house? Are you crazy? You would think you in You in some kind of American country. No, it's South Africa. These people live there. And when you go to these burial grounds, you will not see one dark-skinned person. It doesn't, it's almost, I won't say it doesn't exist, but hey, knowing them, they don't even want you when you are alive. They would hate your dead, stinking body to be laying next to them. Are you crazy? They have their own burials in those countries and stuff like that. Yeah? So they don't do that. Well, same thing that they did with every other country in existence. They are the people that are burying themselves there. So when you say like, yeah, we only found the Y chromosome, well, sorry, we didn't find the Y chromosome of the Canaanites there, that's because it's you laid with their daughters. And then, you know, the Canaanites moved toward another place, which Kenya is one of the places. Look at the name, Kenya. Do you have Israelites in the midst of them? Of course you do. Our people went there also and made children there too. Our people are in in every nation, sorry, I should say. Suggesting men did, okay, that's true. And were instead drawn from different regions. Yeah, because everybody is now trying to ride, well, at that time, is trying to ride upon the bandwagon of the Phoenicians, their greatness. Now, everybody's riding on the bandwagon of Jacob, their greatness. That's why you see K-pop. They built on Jacksons and stuff like that. The Black Abu problem. They hate our people, but they steal your shit. I don't listen to these people. I listen to these Jacob descendants talking about it. How they steal black women, their dancing moves, and all of a sudden 2-3 months later they have that shit. And in those songs then they talk down on Jacob descendants. You know? That's what they do. These people steal. And not just Edomites. These Moabites too. Because Koreans, they actually come from China. Might not get it here right now, but they do come from China. And you have a few from Japan, but there was actually enemies and stuff like that. It was Japan fighting Korea. It was Japan fighting Korea. But the Japanese don't come from Chinese. It's the Koreans. If you look at the map, they walk toward there. I checked out, well, I didn't supremely check it out. Here, let me see this one. Here you have South Korea, but here you have North Korea. What the fuck do you think that they did? Here you have Mongolia. And Mongolia, oh boy, they hate Chinese. Because the Chinese oppressed the shit out of them. So they hate each other. They hate. Hey, here, look, Mongolia here, China here, North Korea here, South Korea here, Japan here. But still, and Taiwan. Taiwan is also a reflux of China. You know, they went there. And now they don't want to associate themselves with China. And Hong Kong too. Where's Hong Kong? Somewhere here? Hong Kong also, they want to cut themselves off from, let me see, Hong Kong and China. Where's Hong Kong again? Yeah, here. Oh, I had it wrong. Anyway, so you have Hong Kong also, they cut themselves also off from China, and they want to, I'm going to show you what is Hong Kong flag. Here. Yeah, that one, but here, this one. Hong Kong. That's what they want. Why does Hong Kong here? Why does Hong Kong here? Why do the people of Hong Kong want a, here, let me see, protest. They don't want to be ruled over by, here you go. Yeah, this one. Here, Hong Kong protest. Hong Kong protest sing, God Save the Queen, as violence erupts in anti-China demonstration again. Why? because they want to be ruled by the British. They don't want to be ruled by the Chinese. And the Chinese can't fight them. They want to oppress them. But, you know, they kind of looking back over their shoulders like, is these motherfuckers going to attack if I attack them? And Taiwan too. Taiwan also. China is looking behind his shoulders like, hey, is America going to, you know, mess around if I attack these fucking Taiwanese and put them under my thumb? I don't rule over them, you know? Yeah, so they have problems amongst each other, which is good. Let them fight, just like how the Northern Kingdom fought each other. Well, the Northern Kingdom. Just like how the Kingdom of Israel split into two, and then the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom were fighting each other. Well, that's the same way that these motherfuckers need to fight too. Let them fight. I said fire. I'll throw some gasoline upon it. I mean, they're already on fire. But I want to throw some gasoline up. I'm not going to do it. What can I do to influence them? Nothing. I just pray to the Lord. But I'm just saying that I want it. That's why I said I would throw gasoline upon that fire. If I had the power, I would throw gasoline upon it. Because I want them to fight. Just like how they want the Bloods and the Crips to kill each other. Okay? So if you're looking at me like, why are you so foolish? Yeah? Why are you so foolish? Why don't you want them to fall? Their fall equals all rising. How about that? You don't want to rise? You don't want to rise? This was a culture that was constantly integrating people. Sorry, so let me read it again. This was a culture that was constantly integrating people. That's exactly what the Israelites are doing. Why do you think that they were able to steal our music? Why? How? If you listen to here, what's his name again? What was his? Ray Charles, man, damn. Ray Charles on Elvis. Why? Why do you think that they are able to do rock and roll? You know who made them? It was why he wasn't impressed with because he's the devil. That's why he stole shit. And who did it? Otis Blackwell. In this program, he explains.
Nobody appreciates more different kinds of music than you. That's obvious. But did you feel at the time, in the 50s, early 60s, a resentment of some of the white performers who were copying R&B?
It's not a resentment. It's you're nothing and you're a thief. And I don't like you. They always come to steal. It's not about you're doing... No, whatever, man. Devils.
Stuff and selling more records than you and your contemporaries were.
I just didn't object to it. I just felt that the music it wasn't that good to care about.
See?
Now, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? You know?
No, it doesn't.
Maybe some exceptions, though. I mean, Elvis was a talented guy.
Yeah.
Well. Okay.
Not necessarily. You know better than I.
Yeah.
Let me ask you differently. How good was Elvis?
What Elvis did, he caused a lot of the populace, if you want to, and usually when people say populace, they usually mean white people, to start listening to a lot of music that normally they wouldn't have been listening to.
That's what I'm saying, man. They don't like us, but they know that we have something that they really want, but they hate it. It bounds them to, not going over there, to the other side.
I guess I'm going to lose at least about a third of my fans right now. But to say that Elvis was so great and so outstanding, like they say, he's the king. I got in trouble because one guy asked me this question, and I said the king of what, and he got mad at me. I don't think of Elvis like that because I know too many artists that are far greater than Elvis. I think Elvis person came along at the right time. He was a white kid that could do rock and roll or rhythm and blues or whatever name you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Girls could swoon over him. Nat Cole got in trouble in Alabama when the women swooned over him.
Yeah, Nat Cole was this one. Nat Cole, you know, when the white chicks started to love him because of his singing, he got in trouble. Yeah.
Got put out of town.
He got put out of town.
Been going out shaking their behind for centuries. And what the hell's unusual about them shaking their hips and stuff? And that's all Elvis was doing, was copying that.
That's what he was doing, copying that. And he wasn't even dancing. He was just moving around like he had epilepsy or some shit like that. Like a demon jumped on him and he could just... Have you ever seen this monkey dance, boy? Get the fuck out of here, man.
He was doing our kind of music.
The
He was
fuck
doing
you
the
doing
Willie
right now?
Thorne, Jailhouse Rock. That's black music. So what the hell am I supposed to get so excited
What the fuck was that, bro? But anyway.
about, man?
Ray Charles said, what am I supposed to get excited for?
But I think all this stuff about saying he's the king and he's the... it's a piece of bunk. Sorry. Next one. No,
See? He's a bunk. Sorry, next question.
king and he's the... it's a piece of bunk.
Piece
Sorry.
of bunk.
Next one. Don't ask me no more about Elvis because you got me enough trouble as it is.
I think you covered it, though.
Yeah, I think you
I think
got
a follow-up is necessary.
Okay, all right.
But that's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of it, man. And who actually set him up? Who is the one that actually set him up to be able to steal this clown over here? And why did he do it, money? This dude. I'll put the link in the description box so you could check it out for yourself and learn something, man. Learn about what our people been doing behind the scene for, well, this is decades, but centuries before this, they have been doing this, man. They have been giving these people the platform to do things, coming in our midst, and then basically stealing over, taking over. And that's the same thing that the Canaanites did with the caucus people. They taught them. They took their shit. They taught them Navy and stuff like that. They took their stuff. Yeah. The study found telling personal details too, by identifying stretches of DNA shared between between individuals. The team was able to spot close relatives. One set of second cousins lived an ocean apart, with one buried in Sicily and the other in North Africa. The sea would have been the quickest way to get to places. The sea would have been the quickest way to get places? To get to places, you mean? I don't know. I think so. So it says right here, it's really showing how much the Mediterranean facilitated connection. Well, it's really showing how the airplane can also facilitate connections, because you can go from one place to another in about 12 hours or something like that. If you go from LA to Japan, well, Australia is further, it might take you 14 hours or maybe even a day. Let me see. It might take 15 hours. You know, from Perth it would take 21 hours. Damn, it's almost a whole day. And then you have, oh shit. And then you have Japan, of course, which would then be 11 hours and stuff like that. 17 hours. It depends on from where you go, by the way. But it's like 9 hours to LA, from Japan to LA. And from LA to Australia, it could take you 15 hours. So LA to Australia is 15 hours, and LA to Japan is 9 hours. So yeah, Australia has always been further, so it's further than Japan, by the way. But anyway, so the point is they steal. Yeah, they steal and then they change things, and then they now bring confusion by making you think as if it's some kind of coalition of different races. No, it isn't. It is the Canaanites that allowed you devils to come. They're stealing, and then they want to change the things. If you read the scriptures, we took over regions, but the scriptures kept the original names of those people. For example, here, Kirjath Arba. Kirjath. Here, Numbers. Joshua here. I actually 13 here. Joshua. 14. Sorry, Joshua 14 in the last verse and 15. And the name of Hebron before was Kirjath Arba, where Abraham was going into and stuff like that, if I'm correct. Which Arba was a great man among the Anakims, and the Anakims were in Deuteronomy 9:2, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims. These were tall, big Canaanites, very, very big people. Yeah, and then you had, but the Anakims and the land had rest from war. But the point is that we have so many things that you see that we still have the original names, and it's still to be found. That's my point. With Esau, you need to go to ancient YouTube and then go and look for things that you would never know that were in existence. How can you look for something when you don't know what to type? All you know is, okay, Phoenicians are now not Canaanites anymore. So how are you going to find out from that? If let's say you didn't know this one, right? This is a screen picture that I took, by the way. Let's say you went and only saw this one, this article, and this is your first introduction to the Canaanites. Look, they put Arabs. That's what they put, because that's what they want the Canaanites to be. So, elephants, really. Elephants, ivory, right. Okay, cool cat, whatever. So, you then therefore have the other Arabians. They steal from Mizraim because they call themselves now Egyptians. And then you have the new booty ones, the other Arabians. They now call themselves Phoenicians because they are in Lebanon, by the way. They call themselves Phoenicians. And the ones in Egypt, which is the land of Mizraim, they call themselves now that. But those are Arabs too. Both of these motherfuckers are Shemites. The ones in Lebanon are Shemites. The Arabs in Lebanon are Shemites. The Arabian type of people in Egypt are also Shemites. But they claim to be from Ham. But then again, they turn around and then they spit on Ham because they say, yeah, Ham is supposed to be a Canaan, actually. It's supposed to be. But they say Ham. They say Ham. But Canaan is supposed to be a slave. But you call yourself after the Canaanites. No, Canaanites were actually these people. These Arabs. You see? That's why the Heavenly Father is going to put these Canaanites as taskmasters over these Arabians, Heavenly Father willing, if I get my plantation, right? Which is Luke 19, if I'm correct. If I got my little tank, right? Let me see. Yeah, 10 cities, right? Yeah, so if I get at least one city, at least one, yeah? If I get just, boy, I'm gonna be, oh man, people are gonna know about me, man. Like, oh, no, I don't wanna go there. You know what they used to do? They used to tell the Latin speaking tribes and stuff like that, shut up, I'm gonna send you to Suriname. No, please, master. No. They would beg. They would beg them. Let me see. That's why I hope I'll be the cruelest. Let me see, enslaved people under the Dutch king. So when they wanted to punish the people from the other lands amongst us, when they wanted to punish them, they would tell them like, I'm sending you to Suriname. Because they did cool shit there. Right, let me see. Yeah, here. Suriname, which it was a former Dutch colony. was known to have the reputation as a place where slave owners treated their slaves the worst. Ooh, I can't wait. Heavenly Father willing, I will be a dead on the Most High, man. I pray the Most High make me of a mind of just somebody. Yo, you gonna be afraid? We're gonna be afraid, boy. You're gonna be afraid just knowing I exist. Like, just my presence. Hey, I wouldn't even have to be there. They're gonna know. They're gonna know. Where is he from? Saying, oh my goodness. And if you're Dutch, you're gonna get fucked up, boy. I think that's why the Heavenly Father put me here. I think he put me here so that I can get them back. I can choo choo turned into a fucking train, boy. I'm telling you. Isaiah 19, and just like how it is written here, same thing I want for me, Heavenly Father willing, and for my ancestry over there. I wanted to say my descendant. No, that's not what I mean. I'm their descendant. Descendant. This is what I want for me. That's what I want, Heavenly Father willing, and this is what I want too. Yeah, Joshua 10:13. It says, "And the sun stood still and the moon stayed until the people, the Israelites, had avenged themselves upon their enemies." Why? Because if the sun goes down, it's dark, black. You can't see. We were in the valley fighting. You can't see. There are no street lights and stuff like that. Yeah, it was not like that. You know, it wasn't like this. You know, you couldn't see stuff. It's like this here in the thing. You see the black? That's water, actually. But still, it would. Oh, let me get another one. North. Come on, man. Here. There you go. There you go. Here. This is what it would then therefore be in the ancient times when we was around there in that time. You know, this one. This is of course China, and yeah, you can see where the most people live in South Korea, which is kind of near the border actually, and here, and of course here, you know, so stuff like that. Bigger cities, but this is the biggest city, and these are big cities too. But yeah, so. Yeah, you can imagine in the ancient time if we were to, here you have Seoul, which is the biggest city, which is their, you know, their main city and stuff like that. The capital, I should say, yeah, capital. There you have it. But, and this is nighttime, and only here you see a few little tiny dots of light, and yeah. But then on the infrared, of course, you see more, which is China actually, but here. You see a little bit more, right? So, until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies, is not this written in the book of Joshua? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. Man, they did some cruel shit over there. So that's what I always said to myself, man. I ain't no friend of no Edomite. Never had, never will be. You know, I could say hello, hey, how you doing, and whatever the fuck. Let me see some. Right, so you had this one over here, this one. That's what they did there. And you know how I know that this is Syrianese? First and foremost, it says it somewhere here that it's written somewhere in a book or something like that, and here and stuff like that. But you might be like, well, it could have been something else. And this too, this is also Suriname. And where did I get it also from? Which was solidification or something. How you call that thing again? Make it solid. The point is here. So this is the golden chariot that these people that call themselves the royals of Netherlands. This is what they have on their royal golden chariot, right? You did this picture. This picture is on their golden chariot, where the queen comes, well, back in the days, the so-called queen of the Netherlands, She comes every day and every year. Then she rides in this stuff and stuff like that. Okay, cool. So you have, and look at what you have here in the corner. Yeah, that one. You know, they didn't want to show it, but they want to show it. You know, they want to boast themselves like, look, you know, this is what we got. And here you have the golden chariot, of course, with the slave heads and the little kiddie porn babies and stuff like that, the naked Edomite babies with the chains around their necks and all that type of stuff. And this is the picture that they put up on their golden chariot, which they ride around every year. Not anymore, by the way. So-called, we're fighting against it. But when you look on the internet, you will see only these ones. Why? They only shoot from the left side. Or is it the right? One of them. The point is they shoot only from one side. They don't show the other one. And they have multiple chariots, by the way. They have multiple chariots. But you will not see that one. The one that I just showed you. That was in a news clip thing. And man, by the grace of the Heavenly Father, I saw that. By the grace of the Heavenly Father, I saw that. Because afterward, it was gone. I was like, man, I must have been the luckiest person, the Jacob descendants, to have seen that. And then take a picture, and that's it. But these are the things that they have. This is a modern one. Drinking his Heineken and shit like that. But yeah, this is another one. They keep on updating it and changing it and stuff like that. But every time, they will have on their golden chariots our people coming to bow and bring them food, as if they are in the book of Isaiah chapter 60, which is their kingdom. And they are actually in it to a certain degree. The heathen nations will come and bow toward them and give them food. Here you have bananas and stuff like that. Here you have a poesi bird, a paw. I don't know how you call it in the English, but it's this bird. This one. You see the thing? That thing over there, it looked like an eye. Well, that's here. There. I don't know if you could see it. Well, that. They come to bring feathers and stuff like that. You know, just things. Just things. There's food and whatever. Everything that you can imagine. The gold, the silver. So they had their little fun. That's why I think that Heavenly Father put me here. In the midst of them. I don't want to go nowhere. I want to stay right here. So when that spiritual power kick in, I'm gonna just have a talk with them. Like, hey, and so when how you doing today? So when you got you, what's up? Oh boy. Anyway, so that's gonna be a fun day. Heavenly Father willing, of course. All I could do is just wait and hope. Hope, right? Hope. It's silly hoper, right? We shall see. So, right, Lord willing, get that authority, and then, you know, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do fun things. Fun things in life and stuff like that. Right, so they had their little fun. And, yeah. So, yeah, Heavenly Father willing, it's going to be all right. You know, everything is going to be all right eventually. So, they had their little fun. And, yeah. So basically that's that. I took a whole detour, you know, talk a lot, but Lord willing, it was coherent, I should say. Like you could still follow me because I lost myself a few times. I actually did. Because I'm talking too many different things at the same time. That's why. Should have just stayed focused. It could have been faster, but yeah, forgive me for that. Anyway, so. They're not. I'll put this link in the description box so you can check it out for yourself. He's the one that made Elvis who he is, and today. He is the one, and I want to slap it. But you know, it's just the Heavenly Father put it on track like that, man. You know, so it's just yeah. It is just what it is, man. You know. Hats off for the joke. He wrote for Elvis. He played the tune on how Elvis should play the tune. For example, here. if you listen to him, he has songs. That fucking idiot. If you listen to him and then listen to Elvis, you'd be like, oh, wait a minute. That sounds like the same person. Yeah, because he copied him. Because he's the one that was the pay. He was getting the paycheck. He was getting the paycheck, and then he wrote for him. They don't put that in the movie. It doesn't mention him. Oh, this Blackwell on writing hits for Elvis Presley. Yeah, you did that, man. I understand that. The genius behind Elvis Presley's biggest hits. It's always the Jacob descendants doing things behind the scene for money, sucking them off. I don't know, man. Just bullshit, man. Some of them do it for pleasure. Like Sammy Dumbass Davis. He was a Satanist, man. He turned into a Satanist. Sammy. And he was a talented Jacob descendant, man. I know people that look like him until this day. I've seen his faces all around here in Europe. A lot of people actually look like him that I know. Well, I don't know them, but I know of them. I've seen a few also. You know? Very talented man. Very small man, too. But he had a great voice. And what did he do? You know? He sold his shit. He sold his soul to the devil. This is amazingly funny. Just crazy. Like, damn, they got you like that, man? God damn. An idiot. But hey. He's a Jacob descendant, man. You know, a great, talented person. Not great, that's in his deeds, bro. Well, the things that he did, I should say. It were great, you know, the music things and stuff like that. But his deeds itself, no. That's some Satan, devil ass nigga shit. That's some crack nigga. Crack nigga. Yeah, but yeah, still. Oldest Blackwell, he got his stuff from, Elvis Presley, he got his stuff from Oldest Blackwell. Just to let you know. So with that, do not believe these Edomites when they're telling you stuff like the Canaanites are not from the land of Canaan. Yes, they are. Yeah. Are you from Europe? No, you're not. You're from the Caucasus Mountains, and before that, you was from Mount Seir. So, are you true to what you say that you are? No, you're not, because you're lying. You're calling yourself European. Japhet is a European. The word European doesn't even exist. But yeah, for edification's sake, Japhet is the original European. That's why they call it Indo-European. They stole that too. The Indo-Europeans, the Indo-European languages and nations and stuff like that. It was them. These. You had the Scythians that were Elam, Iran and stuff like that. But this is also mentioned in the scriptures. Why? Because you had Israelites there. Israelites were there. You know? And the Parthians, where is that again? Elam once more. Why? You had Israelites there. But yeah, these are Shemites. I'm not talking about these actually. This is also later on, after that the Japhetic people, you know, they moved more to the east, and these people moved more to the west. People move, man. You know, you have Jacob descendants from the south, they moved to the north, right? Okay, so, yeah. And now their ancestry is in the north, meanwhile they came from the south, and vice versa. You know, you don't have a lot of north going to south and stuff like that, but you do have a lot of south going to the, that's how they get there. How they got there. It's the south went to the north. It's not the north went to the south. You do have people that go from the north to the south, but that was not the direction normally, you know, originally. It was the other way around. So yeah. So what is this here? Anyway, so yeah, basically the people from Europe, they went toward the east. Yeah, that's what Japhet did. The Greeks, the original Greek, the Greek Empire, they were Japhetic people. But yeah, if you want to know that, it shows you here. Okay, this is the last one that I'm done. Genesis 10:2, the sons of Japhet. If you look up this word, Yaphan, Hebrew 31:20, Hebrew 31:20, it says here Ionia and Greece. And if you type in Ionia river, name, what is it? Lake? No, sea. Ionia Sea, ocean. Where will you land? This is it. This is the Ionian Ocean, or the Ionian Sea. Damn, I should have put sea. Wow, what a joke. Here, Aegean Sea, Sea of Crete. That's these are the Hamites. These are Hamites here, Crete. And yeah, these are the Grecians, and Macedonia and all that type of stuff is here. Ionian Sea. I should have put that. Here you go. Ionian Sea. But this is actually the one. But of course, these people stayed here. Well, didn't stay here. Sorry, damn. What am I saying, man? The people didn't stay there. People move around. People always move around. So, but the point is that this is the Ionian Sea, and then this is the land of Japhet. Japhan, I should say. The whole Europe is the land of Japhet, but they moved toward the east here, to the warmer places, and then they left this off. But here is kind of warm still. Here is cold, I'll tell you that. Here is a little bit middle, and here is warm under this one. So under this, so here under is warm, very warm actually. Spain and stuff like that, Africa and stuff like that, and yeah, it's warm. So yeah, with that I'm gonna say shalom. So the Japhetic people are the real Grecians and the real Ionians, but yeah, so yeah, shalom.